get more smoke off somebody walking past you with a fag on the street. Hello and welcome to another Whisky Trials. Hey, it's episode 10. 10 episodes already. Okay, it's been great, but let's get on to this, because my previous Whisky Trials was the Battle of the 12's. And I've got another one. So we're going to do Battle of the 12's, round 2. So we have a Cragganmore 12 and a Glenkinchie 12. So it's Speyside versus Lowlands, and they're both owned by Diageo. So, fun facts for you there. Right, let's just pour a wee one of this. Glenkinchie. Shh, this is Sarah's. I shouldn't really be drinking it. Bought it for her Christmas, so hopefully she doesn't notice and she doesn't watch this video. Just open up the Cragganmore. Alright. That one had a better sound. Oops. A couple of hefty ones there, like, yeah. Right. But before I start, I interestingly saw something on the box of the Cragganmore. On my Instagram, we had a little discussion about the classic malts. So the classic malts, so the collection of classic malts that you're meant to have in your collection. And we have on the back here, and this is the only box I've ever seen this on, and I think it was Mr. Gary Drams Dunzire on Instagram. He got it right, as per usual. He's a font of knowledge with whiskey. But so the 5 that you're meant to have is Glenkinchie, a Dalwhinnie, which is the Highland, a Talisker, which is Skye, an Oban, which is West Highland, and a Lagavulin, which is Islay. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Never seen that on any other bottle. Right, I'll just stick that to the side just now. Okay, so let's give these two a bash. Now the Glenkinchie, I've had it before. I had it in a pub, and I thought at that point, and this was a good wee while ago, I thought it was maybe like a little bit sweet, which is weird for me to say because we all know I quite like the sweet ones. It smells good. It's got like an interesting sweetness there. Yeah, I wonder which one I had, if it was the 12 that I had, but it's not too sweet at all. I rarely find one these days that's too sweet. It's got a very interesting smell. It's slightly like, it's got that slight melon skin kind of smell to it. I think I've been finding that on a few I've been trialing, but it's got a very light woody. You know, some have got that real deep kind of woodiness. This is it's much more. It's much more of a lighter wood. Not heavy oak, but I really like this actually, because it's got that. It's got a slightly different kind of woodiness. It's not that real strong, kind of overpowering oak. What is that wood that I'm thinking of? That'll come to me, maybe. You might have to look in a book or something. But it's got that a real nice kind of woodiness to it. And followed up by a sweetness that's not completely one-dimensional, but not overly complex either. I'd say it's bordering on the smooth side, and I know the you know, nobody likes to use that word when talking about whiskies that's smooth, because it kind of denotes easy drinking. But you know, there's nothing really wrong with that if it's a more easy drinking one, because you know, you can't be drinking Lagavulins all the time, can you? Well, maybe you can if that's what you like. It's up to you, but I certainly can't take the real punchy ones all the time. And you know, sometimes you just want something that's just nice, easy to drink, and gives you all those nice kind of feelings that you want. That nice little glow that I've talked about. And it certainly does that, because I believe this is the one. Yeah, this is 43% volume, and the Cragganmore is just at the 40. So yeah, they're similar in colour, and potentially that's because they've both got the E150 additive, the caramel additive. I know Diageo, you know, they quite like it. They quite like it to get that standardised kind of colour. And I think I'm going to do an episode on it, because there's sparse kind of information about which whiskies add it and which don't. So it would be good to like really kind of nail that down and find exactly how many distilleries use it, and if they use it throughout their core range and their expressions. I've got a feeling that, you know, they might not use it on everything. But I had, I'll do a trials on it at some point soon. But I had a Glenglasach, and I had a couple of them actually. And if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen the shot. But I had the bottles beside each other, and one was a lot paler than the other, and I really like that. Yeah, I like the fact that it's not a standardised colour. Who wants like everything to look the same? You know, just like stop using the caramel colour. If it's pale, let it be pale. If it's dark, let it be dark. You know, who cares? But yeah, I like it. It's good. Yeah, can't. You know, it's not blowing me away or anything, but it's good enough. It is good enough. Here's one of my other favourite glasses. It's that's what I do. I drink and I know things. Mr. Tyrion. This one's got much more of a citrusy on the nose, a citrus smell on the nose. Vanilla as well. There's a slight edge to it. That slight alcoholic kind of edge. It's not quite the medicinal note, but it's something like that. I think that would actually benefit if I just left it for maybe another 5 minutes and smelled it. I'd pick out more flavours in it. I think the smell of this actually, the Cragganmore, is a bit more complex than the Glenkinchie. It's got kind of a flat wood taste. I don't quite know what I mean when I say it. I know what I mean, but I don't know if it comes across. I don't know if anybody understands what I mean. There's a distinct kind of wood flavour that just kind of goes like that right the way through the taste. Like, it's okay, but there's something just not quite there for me. It does have a slightly more interesting nose. There's citrusy things going on. There's like a has a slight Christmas cakiness, but there's also like a kind of melon, a melon type, like the flesh of a melon, like a watermelon. But in that slightly weird, chemically almost medicinal type smell. Not quite medicinal, but slightly more chemically. I don't know, like maybe like those sweeties, you know, the fake kind of sugary sweeties, or maybe that's what it is. It's like those maybe it's brain's not working at all today. The melon sweets that used to be popular in, you know, a square little packet. You don't see them so much now, actually. I'm sure wee Jock will tell me what they are. Wee Jock, they know it all, eh? Eh? Aye. Okay, so I've tasted both of them. What am I thinking? Do you know what? It's a weird one for me, because Speyside, as you well know if you've watched any of my other videos, is one of my favourite kind of areas. That kind of Speyside and East Highlands and that whole neck of it comes out with some really good stuff for me. So obviously this is Speyside, so you would think this would be ahead of the game. And this is a Lowlands, and I'll try to think of Lowlands that really stand out for me. I don't know if I've had that many. But I think it's the Glenkinchie. I think the Glenkinchie's, I'm going to go back to it and just have a wee... Now it's had time to sit, let's see what smells I get. But I'm thinking the Glenkinchie for me is pippin, this one. And what I'll do is I'll bring in the other 12's. I think I've still got the boxes kicking about. I'll bring in the other 12's that I did on the last episode, and maybe pick a favourite, if I can remember. Yeah, it's definitely a bit plainer on the nose than the Cragganmore. Oh, I think there's definitely a bit more to it on the palate though. So where it kind of maybe the Cragganmore beats it on the nose, I think the Glenkinchie beats it taste wise. Potentially. Let me go back. I mean it's always fairly close against these 12's for the most part. But you know, I mean neither of them really like blowing me away, like wow that's amazing, it's going in my top 5 kind of thing. None of that. I'm trying to think if any of the others did. Do you know what? I think it's the Glenkinchie. I think the Glenkinchie just kind of edges it. There's both of them they're for 12's. I mean, I don't think they're anything spectacular, but they're decent-ish. I think you know what? I think I had kind of high hopes for the Cragganmore, and I think it's let me down a little bit. The Glenkinchie I didn't have high hopes for, and I think it's exceeded them. So there you go. But let me just grab the Strathisla. That was one of them, wasn't it? Oh look, I've actually got sort of a few 12's kicking about. And then we've got this one, and we've got this one. I know this wasn't part of the other 12. What was the other 12 again? It was Strathisla and the Glenmurray. So I'll just have to remember the Glenmurray. Let's take that out of the way there. Right, so Cragganmore, Glenkinchie, Strathisla, Old Pulteney. This was the co-op, selected by the co-op 12-year-old. And then obviously the Glenmurray Murray, which I don't have the box for, do I? Just give me 2 seconds, I think I might do. I do, I have it. Right. Let's put that one there. Right, building a bit of a Jenga tower of whiskey boxes here. Okay. So, obviously just tried these two. I think the Glenkinchie wins over the Cragganmore. I think I was really torn between these two, I remember. And I think on a different day, perhaps the Glen Murray would have taken it, but I think just with, I was talking about first impressions, and the first impressions was the Strathisla for me. That kind of nailed it. Just, it took me on that journey straight away. When I got them both, I don't know, I felt more attached to the Strathisla out of both of them. I mean, I tried them both. I had one nip out of this and one nip out of that when I first got them. And the Strathisla for me took me on the thing that I like, this little journey that I go through with a bottle of whiskey. So it's for a... Don't say 40. So the Glenkinchie is actually the one that's got the more of the kick, more of a with the 43%. Not that that really matters, but it sometimes does, just to release some of the flavours. Okay. So maybe, I don't know, I don't really have the room. I want to try and put them in some kind of a semblance of order. I think I'm struggling to remember this one because it was so long ago. I think it was passable. It was pretty good. I'm going to kind of put that down there with the Cragganmore just now. Maybe not quite as good. The Old Pulteney, I was kind of harsh with this because I feel like they've changed, and you know, quite often we reject change. We don't want change too much, but you know, it's good to embrace it sometimes, and change is good. But in this case with Old Pulteney, I feel like they've changed too much, maybe, or it's just different. It didn't take me on the same journey anyway, but it's nice. I mean, there's a real kind of bitter orange flavour with this one coming through, which was good. I really enjoyed it, but it still didn't take me quite on that journey. But that said, when you look at all of these together, and these are pretty equal. These two, not far away. I don't know. It's a toughie. What do you guys think? I mean, I'm kind of torn. I think these guys are definitely down at the bottom end. The Glenkinchie, surprising. It's pretty good. I actually like that. It's close. It's like, yep. It could be that. I mean, despite my annoyance a little bit with Old Pulteney, I think it's still up there. It's still, although it's slipped out of my top 5, I think, it's still there or thereabouts. It's maybe not slipped out of my top 10. Yep. The thing is, I mean, as you go through and you expand your whiskey horizons and you try all these different bottles, these things obviously sort of chop and change a bit, and things get bumped down. And obviously when you're trying like the 15s and the 18s and all the rest of it, although you know, I don't have that many of that kicking about here, but you know, when I've got the Dalwhinnie 15 box there, and as soon as I had that, and I was like, you know what, so that's kind of crept into my top 5. So yeah, I mean, everything kind of chops and changes and moves up and down, and yeah, Old Pulteney, I think it's still there. I think what it comes down to is maybe if somebody offered you one of these. So you tell me in the comments, if somebody offered you one of these, but let's just bring in, I know, it's the Glendronach 12. I keep going on about it, but you know, it's a 12-year-old, so it fits in. The only thing I would say is that each of these, this was the cheapest. So that was the cheapest. That was 20 quid on a deal in the Co-op. Very cheap and good value because it was all right. The Cragganmore, the Glenkinchie, the Strathisla, and the Glenmurray. These were all deals on Amazon, and they were all around the kind of 24 to say 28 quid mark, right? So all below 30 quid. The Old Pulteney, you can quite often get that on a deal, but more often than not, if you wanted a bottle of Old Pulteney, it's going to cost you about 32 quid, 33 quid. This, however, the Glendronach, I believe to be the most expensive of the bunch. I think it is about 40 quid, or thereabouts. I've never seen it on a deal. You don't get this in supermarkets. You don't get that in a supermarket. You don't get the Strathisla in a supermarket. In fact, you don't get any of these in a supermarket apart from Old Pulteney and this one. You only get that in the Co-op. You get this one everywhere. So it's not exactly supermarket's choice because we're going up a bit here. We're going up to the sort of 12-year-olds. But which one would you pick? Out of all of these, right? I'm giving you one. Which one are you going to pick? It's for free. Not really. But imagine it's for free. Which one did you pick? I know what I'd pick. I'd obviously pick that. But let's take Glendronach out of the equation, right? Because it is somewhat exceptional for a 12-year-old. I mean, crazy exceptional. So good. I can't wait to get another bottle. I'm going to have to buy one. I'm getting withdrawal sometimes. Right, so out of the remaining few, which one would you have? Which one would you have? I'd quite happily take any of these three straight away if you offered me them for free. And even if I had to pay for them, I would take any of these three. Would I take the Glenkinchie? I probably would actually. It's quite a nice one. I don't know if I'd go out of my way to buy it. I think if it's on a deal, which I got this and it was, I actually think the Glenkinchie might be one of the more expensive ones. So if it is on a deal, you know, it's well worth getting it because I'm thinking it's probably over 30 odd quid. The upper, maybe even mid 30 quid, 35 quid. Man, the Cragganmore, to buy it again? Do you know what? I don't think I would. Despite it being one of the classic malts that you're meant to have in your collection, I think there's obviously better 12s. All these four are better than it. So I was kind of disappointed as well because you know I was looking forward to the Cragganmore. I'd heard some good things about it, but yeah, for me, just a little bit of a letdown, and yeah, I think you know, normally what I do at this point is I go back for another nip, but the only thing is Sarah. It's Sarah's. She'll not miss another one. She'll not miss another one. I'm just hoping she's not like listening at the door. It's alright. She drinks enough of my whiskey anyway. Right, okay, let's get rid of these guys because it wasn't really about them, but it was nice to compare all the 12s. I actually had more 12s there than I thought I did. So, that was pretty good. If your choice is between Cragganmore and Glenkinchie, then I'd say perhaps just take the Glenkinchie, which is definitely a weird one for me. Lowlands, and yeah, I wasn't so keen on it the first time I tried it, but let's just dive back into it. See if I'm getting any more. Oh no, I think I swapped glasses there, didn't I? God damn it. Yep, switch glasses. Oh well. So, but that was good. So Battle of the 12's round 2 was Glenkinchie coming out on top. I had it as the underdog. It was the you know, slightly underweight, maybe slightly shorter. Didn't quite have the reach of the Cragganmore, but the Cragganmore just, I think, probably just got knocked out a little bit there. So, thank you so much for watching another Whisky Trials. Please, please, please subscribe. The only reason I'm saying this is because I just need to reach 500 subscribers so that I can get like a custom URL that says The Whisky Trials on it. That's all I need, that's all I want, you know. I've got very, very low expectations and wants, you know, at the moment. That's all I need. So youtube.com, and then it says /channel/ and then I've got all this gobbledygook, blah, 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 blah. And I can't get the Whisky Trials until I get 500 subscribers. So that's all I want. That's all I need right now, just to get my little Whisky Trials URL, so it's nice and clean, and I can start chucking it about the internet and seeing if I can build up my audience a little bit. And well, thanks for staying with me for 10 episodes. Check out my other ones if you haven't seen them. Again, check me out on Instagram. Do a lot more on Instagram. I don't always have time to review every whiskey I've got on a video because it takes a lot of time and effort. But yes, join me on another Whisky Trials. I've got a lot of good stuff coming up actually. I'll just kind of go over it a little bit, because what I have noticed, I'm going to do a little bit of research on it, because you may remember, I think it's episode 7 or 8, but I reviewed a whiskey called Altervane. Alt-a-Bane, it's spelled Gaelic. Altervane. And I really didn't like it. In fact, I was so disappointed with it, I gave it like a sort of 1 out of 10 thing, which I don't really do that 1 out of 10 markings on whiskies, because, you know, everybody's got their own kind of tastes and all the rest of it, but the Altervane was so bad that it was just so bland. And anyway, what I did was I was looking at other people that do whiskey reviews on YouTube, and I found this one guy that I hadn't seen before, and I was like, oh, and then oh look, he's done the Altervane. So I clicked on that, and man, he's just like blowing smoke up its arse. It's this, it's that. It's a good gateway to peaty whiskies, smoky whiskies, and I was like, ah. So I left a fairly abrupt and to the point comment. But what I want to do is I'm going to do the rounds and just search YouTube for that whiskey and see who's doing what, because the people that know me know that I'm kind of spade's a spade, you know, straight as a die, and very honest and loyal, and I don't like selling out. So I would never sell out unless Glendronach came along and offered me a lot of money to just like talk about Glendronach all the time. They don't even need to do that, do they? Because I'm already doing it. So yeah, jokes aside, I'm one of these kind of guys that if I taste something and I'm really disappointed with it and I think it's shit, I'm going to tell you, because I don't want you guys wasting 30 quid on a shit whiskey when you could have bought something like a Glenkinchie on a deal and for less than 30 quid, which I did. So my point is that I'm going to go through YouTube, collate all these people that are talking about Altervane and see who liked it and who didn't. I've only seen this one so far, and like I said, I left that comment which I questioned his motives and what he was doing, because you know what it's like. I mean, I think this guy was selling a book. It's great drams, something or other, and he's in his little crypt bit in the description in the video. I could see that he was trying to sell a book. Now, if you're trying to sell a book, I guess you don't really want to piss off some of the. Well, there's like 5 companies or something that own most of the Scottish distilleries. And Chivas Brothers is one of them, Pernod Ricard. And they own Altervane, or they've put out Altervane. And it's rubbish, and I don't want to. I'm not one of these people that's gonna like blow smoke up their arse. If I think it's crap, it's crap. It's crap for me. I mean, this is one of the things. It's always subjective, isn't it? But I think with like say for instance this, like I could have. This was okay, but it was like 20 quid or less when I got it. So there's that kind of value thing there, and it tasted all right. It kind of did the job, you know. It was nice enough. But when you're paying 30 quid for a bottle of something called Alter Vane, you're expecting a little bit more, and it's saying that it's peated. It isn't. It really isn't. I didn't get any peat. It's saying that it's kind of a little bit smoky. I didn't get any smoke. You know, you get more smoke off somebody walking past you with a fag on the street. Anyway, I'm kind of ranting about it a little bit because, but it's a passion for me now. This whole whiskey experience is a passion, and who I am as a person is very direct, kind of blunt, and very honest. And I don't want to beat around the bush. If I don't really like something, then I'll say it. And it was like the Old Pulteney, you know. I was kind of harsh with that. It's still a really nice whiskey. I was pretty harsh with the Old Pulteney just because I felt like they'd ruined something for me. You know, that little bit of a story in my head, I guess it was. And the thing with Alter Vane is I don't care about Chivas, Pernod Ricard. They've got nothing to do with my future. I'm not doing this to make money. I'm not doing this to be a famous YouTuber. I'm just doing it because it's fun. And if other people like it, then great. And if you're getting something out of it, then great. Because I like sitting here and I like talking to you guys. So, like I said, more to come. Probably more 12's, even better ones to come. But I'm going to do. What have I got next? Oh, I've got a Glen Classic that I got for Christmas. And I have a Talisker 10. So they're coming up. Also, the expose of other people that are saying Alter Vane's good, because I just don't know why they're saying it's good. Why they're saying it's a good gateway to peat. It's like, it really isn't. If you want some good gateways to a Laphroaig, see my previous whiskey trials. I've got one. It's much more things like Bowmore and Talisker that are going to get you to a point where you can maybe handle a Laphroaig or a Lagavulin if you don't have those kind of tastes. The Alter Vane's never going to get you there. It's kind of semi-watered down flavoured whiskey. It's never going to get you there, which is why I'm so passionate about it, because to see these reviews of people saying that it's this and it's that, I don't think it is. I mean, everybody's got their own tastes, don't get me wrong, but I don't see how anybody that knows about whiskey could say that about that whiskey. And anybody that does say something like that about that whiskey is just blowing smoke up the arses of people that are powerful within the whiskey industry. And that is not me. So, on that note, Slanjaval, cheers, and I guess Happy New Year, because this is the first one I filmed in the new year, so hope it's a good one for you. Cheers.